that we can move forward with the alleyways. So because of the well-planned city that you have, and I do have to say that because this is a unique situation to what we normally encounter with, let's say, other cities or other areas, because you're unique. You have alleys that are active, that are accessible and well maintained. So because of the uniqueness and your well planned, your visionaries, I guess, back in the day who planned your city, we were able to go back and make a case to our leadership about, we explored the opportunity to put our equipment in the alleys during our pilot program. And so far it has worked. It was in 2019. We haven't encountered any issues. So we took it back, we demonstrated, we set the case for you all, and they agreed that we can move forward with the alleyways. So I think with that applause, I think the meeting's going to be very short. But nonetheless, I do want to say that, we have a great partnership with Miami Springs, and we want to continue to have that, and with you all. Because it's important to us, and so we're going to keep working. However, there's a couple of things. We're working on a memorandum of understanding with the city. We're not going to cannot get into the details because there's a lot of issues for those attorneys in the room. You know how it is. There's a lot of legal things we got to work through. But we are working through them. We have been in communication since yesterday. No, actually since Friday, I think. We've been in communication with the city's attorneys, the city's manager, and we've been working through those issues. So I think soon we'll have a final agreement that I think it has to go to the board, right, for approval. So that agreement will allow us then to put our equipment in the alleys, and you all should be very happy. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
I have a question. Can you speak to, there are people that are in different stages of having signed up to give up an easement. I know that some people have even received a letter that seems like it's already been registered. What are those? Because some of those people are here. So
yeah.
Speak
so the process moving forward is going to be, so we need to now redesign the project, right? Because the project was going in the front of the home, so we already identified when we designed it which homes would have to take a transformer, and that's when we worked with you all to get the easement for that equipment, right? Now, since we have to redesign it, it's not as simple as just moving it to the back. We have to, reroute our infrastructure. So we don't know if the same homes that did give us an easement will be the ones that will take another transformer in the rear. So what's going to happen is right now we need to redesign. So you need to be patient with us, and while we redesign the process and the project, once we redesign, we will know which homes will take the transformers in the rear of. So we will approach those homeowners, and I encourage you all that are here, all of you that have neighbors that are not here, to please tell them that we're going this extra step. It's important that they work with us, right, to give us that piece of property that we need, that easement in the back, in the alley, but it will go on private property. It's not going to go on the city's alleyway. It is going to go in the alley, in the back, but in private property. So once we identify those homeowners, they're going to take those transformers. We need to secure the easement with them, record it, and then once we have everything, we release the other easements that we already took. But we're not going to enforce them, just so you know, just because we have an easement in the front of, it's not going to go there. Just be patient while we secure what we need in the back, and then we will relinquish those easements to you all. So that's the process moving forward. Did I miss anything to the team? Okay, because they're the experts. Go ahead, sir.
In determining which homes are going to give up part of their rear space, is that based on what's the easiest for FPL, which house is easiest to get the space, or just if I look at it and say, well, this would be better to do it here than here than here?
It's all based on the design. It's all based on load and distance. We want to make sure that the distance that we run, we need a transformer every so many feet. I don't know, our engineers here. So that's how we determine which home will take it, because we want to make sure everybody they don't have voltage drops. So every certain amount of feet, somebody has to take a transformer. So that's how we determine. It's based on the engineering design.
If you take down part of your fence or some of your trees, whatever, do you pay for that? Does FPL
We pay for that. So we need the easement, you will grant us the easement, but we will make sure that we refence or we'll do whatever we need to do around there to be able to, so it's on our dime, yes. And we restore also to our dime too, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
I think you're gonna encounter the same objections. Because you're gonna be asking people to give up part of their property. Some people may have, things in their yard at that point, swimming pools, everything within a setback. The ideal solution is still putting in the front right of way. With there, you don't have to worry about any easements, the city already owns it. I heard the mayor mention, he'd work with city planners to make that allow that. If there was any discrepancies with the code. I just see that we're gonna be back in the same situation when you're attempting to get, homeowners to sign away their property.
Well, you give it up your front property too, you do it that way.
No, it's in the right of way.
No, it's not in the right of way, sir. It's on private property as well.
Well, no, but in front of that, in the streets, that's city-owned right of way.
But we do not put our facilities there.
Inside.
Well, you could if you wanted to, you choose not to.
It doesn't work like that. There's other issues pertaining to putting our equipment on right of way. There is circumstances where the cities need to do improvements to roads, drainage, whatever, and then our equipment's in the middle. That's what right of way is. Cars that are parked there, so we make sure that we obtain our easements on private property so that there is no issue in the future when the city wants to do any improvements, want to do sidewalks, or whatever it is that they want to do. And it's a business decision that we have taken.
Is that how the project at this point, when it was done in the alleys, was it done this way? If you were finding people that would give up, however you designed it.
Mm-hmm.
So those were all, even though they were in the back, they were on easements that.
Yes, sir. They're on private easement, yes. There's no facilities in the alleys that are on city property. They're all on private property in the alleys.
So that's what had been done to this point.
Yes.
So if you see one on the corner of an alley and this fence is diagonal and it's theirs, they give up that diagonal part, so the thing is on the corner outside the fence, which is actually what's their property. But they agreed to make their fence go like this, like an angle, instead of doing a full triangle. And that triangle they gave up is the.
It could be, I don't know exactly.
That's what I've seen, I've seen it in my house.
It could have been, I don't know the particular address
That makes sense, what you're saying.
Yes.
In my house, there's a metal gate and a pool and all kinds of stuff, and the house next to me is wide open, no fence. Obviously, they choose that before mine, most likely.
So, yes, we use common sense. I mean, if it's allowable because of our engineering, if we can go, if your property is fenced in, you have a pool, and you have all these things, and then your lot, the lot next to your neighbor is completely open,
Gotcha.
chances are we'll go to them first, because we have some leniency to move. We go to property line, we put it at the edge of the property line, so we can move it a couple of feet this way, a couple of feet that way. We cannot just put it 40 feet down the street, right? It has to go where it has to go, and but we do try to, we say, okay, if this lot is empty and it's available and it's accessible and there's no encroachments, we're going to put our facilities there. Granted that the homeowner gives us the easement that we need. So
what does it apply for properties that don't have alleyways?
So properties that have no alleyways will have to go in the front of, because there's no other way to serve them. So we will have to, yes, those.
Has that happened in any of the projects leading up to now, where did you do any up to this point where you didn't go through they didn't have an alley?
I think so. I think we've done some projects, right?
On the lakes.
Yeah.
Golf course.
Golf course, the
Right
lake.
here. We have it.
Yeah, these houses are on a lake. It's in the front.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to establish that.
No,
That's
absolutely.
not something that's new. It's
So where there's no alleys, it has to go in the front of, that's all we can do. I mean, again, this is an exception for your city. Again, for all the reasons that I mentioned, you planned it in a certain way where, alleys are accessible, they're usable, and there's no encroachments there, so we can actually, put our stuff there.
Falls on the private property.
It still falls on private property. So again, if we went to this meeting, to commission meeting a couple of weeks ago, everybody was very upset about putting it in front of. We have come to an agreement. We don't do this with any other, most cities don't have alleys to start with, but We have made an exception, so we really encourage you all to please work with us and have your neighbors, talk to your neighbors to work with us so that we can get the project to the finish line.